Well, it really seems like we're just stuck in this loop now. And what I mean by that is, has anybody seen the movie Groundhog Day before, where you have the same day happening over and over and over again, and it's just a rinse and repeat of the day before? That's kind of where we're at, because what we're seeing right now is retail just continue to rinse themselves and continue to react the same way to the same exact news that we've already known about, completely ignoring the good things that are happening in the market. And frankly, there's one thing that might need to happen before we eventually turn around and start to make these moves to the upside. Now, I really want to talk about that in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. Now, starting this daily candle, it sucked. ADA's down about 7% to start the day. Most everything is just red once again. And this all started later yesterday when we got more news about tariffs. Go figure, right? And I'll get to this in just a moment. But right now, ADA is falling below its trend. Just a little bit of a silver lining here. The last time ADA fell below and breached like this, we started our rally. We had our nice bounce. We saw ADA actually surge from the bottom of this trend all the way up about 27%. So, I mean, right now, if ADA did the same thing, not saying it's going to, that would be actually a really good test right around that 200-day moving average like we were talking about, right? Getting close to 72 to 74 cents, all right? That being said, similar signs on the RSI, right? We've officially gotten to oversold. Most assets across the crypto market are oversold. And right now, what we're really seeing is the big thing that's dragging us down across the market is BTC. So BTC did in fact get down to about 78.2 last night. And this is not a good spot for BTC to be in. It's in no man's land. There is, I don't want to say there's a big gap here, but there's a big gap here. And what I mean by that is when we take a look at our weekly chart in terms of BTC, you guys can see that what's down below here is 76K. That's right about where our 50-week moving average is. We're way below our 20-week moving average. We're out of trend here. And frankly, what you might see is if this bearish sentiment continues, you might see us actually sweep that 50-week moving average, sweep the highs of this trend back here, which is all the way up around like 73, 74K or so. Now, this isn't to be bearish or negative or anything like that, because what we're dealing with right now is this basically loop of information. And retail just keeps acting the same way over and over and over again. So I created this illustration to basically show people what's going on. So what we've been dealing with a lot is this tariff news, right? This tariffs. We keep hearing almost every single day of new tariffs. And the problem is, you know, every time we get one of these, retail decides to dump their bags. They start sending the charts to the downside. Then what happens is whales will step in. They are accumulating at this time. And yes, this can be tracked with on-chain fundamentals. We're seeing it all throughout the space. Then retail says, oh, maybe this is a good spot to accumulate. So they step in, they load up their bags, then boom, you go back to more tariff news, right? Then the price dumps again. And we go around and around and around this circle, and people don't realize they're just getting absolutely rinsed and losing their positions right now. Here's where the big problem is. This guy right here, this big tariff news, it's the same news over and over and over again. I feel like I'm losing my freaking mind because we have known about tariffs since the early part of February. We knew they were coming. We knew what they were going to be. This isn't new information, but yet people are treating it like it's new information. And the problem is that retail, right, that continues to dump their bags right here. What they keep thinking to themselves and saying is, hey, tariff news dumped the charts last time, so it's going to dump again. So they unload their position. Then the price dumps. Guess what? If you have conviction and you don't unload your position, the price doesn't drop. It's a crazy concept, right? And here's the thing. Eventually, what's going to happen is we're going to get this tariff news. Retail is going to dump their position. Then institutional money is going to start buying and start sending the charts back up. You're going to get caught, all right? This is my big warning to people. We keep playing this stupid game and you're going to win stupid prizes. I'm sorry to be blunt, but guys, we have seen this so many times before and people are going to mess it up in a big way. Now, what we might need before this happens is we might need to sweep those lows. BTC might need to drop to 76K. We might need a washout on ADA down to around 56 cents or so. All right. Now, this isn't, me being bearish, or this isn't a guarantee that this is going to happen or anything like that. And I will say I've gotten some flack before about saying, oh yeah, ADA price isn't going to go to 50 cents or below that. Right. And the problem is the market changes from day to day. All right. You can chart things into infinity and be right some of the time and be wrong the rest of the time. Okay. And because the problem is fundamentals are what move the charts. And the problem is the fundamentals, they've been good for ADA, but there are times where there are some weakness in fundamentals. And right now we're seeing some weakness in fundamentals across the crypto market. There are some good things for ADA here, which I'll talk about in a second, but this might need to happen to wash out the last of the dumb before we start to make our move to the upside. Okay. What we're seeing in terms of ADA BTC is actually quite a bit of consistency. Actually, when we take a look back here, look at how ADA, can't speak. The relation between ADA and BTC is. It's pretty much flat. We're kind of floating around trend here, meaning that the good thing for ADA is that holders are in fact having conviction. We're just kind of being drugged down by the rest of the market right now, which sucks, right? That's a product of just not being an alt season, or I'm sorry, not being an up only season yet. Yeah, we started alt season back in the fall. We've kind of fallen into this time where everything's kind of sucking versus BTC, but you guys get the point, right? There's not much change that's happening right here. And really all we're just dealing with is just major capitulation in the market. What's crazy to me is that we are at the highest levels of USDT dominance that we've been at since before the election. All right. Are we that bearish that we think that things are in fact worse than they were before the election? No. Right. We've had big discussions about digital asset stockpiles, big discussions about embraces in US-based crypto, right? US-based blockchains. That's a big deal. We've had consistent backing down by the SEC, a big black cloud over this industry. And yet people are actually bearish. And it leads me to this conclusion. Right now, people are just being washed out because there's some manipulation going on. People are fearful because they see all these big headlines that are Fugazi. Anybody that's seen Wolf of Wall Street, that's what we're dealing with right now. It's something that's a big nothing burger. You're missing how big the big news is. And it's a question of when do people start realizing how big the big news is, right? Nobody knows. Now, what I will say is that, when we look at institutional money in general, yesterday wasn't that big of a day. And I talked about this earlier, right? We saw massive movements in terms of BlackRock. They moved like $500 million, worth of BTC to exchanges. Guess what? They only sold 189 million. And this is exactly what I said would happen. They could move some and move some back. And that's exactly what they did. And look what's happening here. What we are seeing is actually a drop here in terms of the unloading. And there's going to be a moment here where they flip green and they start adding once again, because guess what? They've been given huge discounts across the crypto market. This isn't new information. This isn't something that's happening for the first time and people should be surprised about, right? This is the same thing just happening over and over and over again. We're in Groundhog Day. We're repeating the same thing time and time again. And what I have to say is that there's eventually going to be a moment where the market plants its feet in the ground and it decides to move up, whether it's here right now, whether it's down here, whether it's out here, wherever it may be. And then we're going to start making some pretty exciting runs. We're going to be closer to, the conclusion of quantitative tightening. We might be closer to rate drops. There's a lot of things right now that could be very beneficial for the crypto market. And it's a matter of when people stop panicking and stop, being emotional. All right. That being said, just looking at some of our fib retracement levels, or our fib extension levels, we can see that right now, next ranges, guys, $1.96, $3 above that. Those are the exciting things that we have ahead in the future. Now, the problem is we just have to be patient, and people hate being patient. I see impatience so prevalent in this space right now, and people are having just a hard time escaping this mindset. Me personally, finger hasn't been anywhere close to the sell button. During these times, I'm looking for as much capital as I can, wherever I can find it, to try to just continue rounding out my positions, because I understand what an opportunity this is. When there is that much fear in the market, that is the time to take advantage, right? Be greedy when the market is fearful. Be fearful when the market is greedy. Guys, we're in a time of extreme fear for no reason. And that is one of the biggest opportunities we can get. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. Where do you think we're headed from here? Do we have a little bit more pain ahead, or are we about to just plant our foot, start moving the opposite direction? Have a great day. Show your love below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.